I will be testing the Hero 31 Autoplayer. Now, Hero 31 is a game we published a couple of years ago, last year. Let me check the copyright. 2020, a couple of years. It's actually pretty fun. Some superhero type of game in the freestyle fashion. A lot of Q&Ds, a lot of interesting things. There are 31 superheroes in the city, and each player is a unique one of them. And as they gain and lose transmography traits, they change into other heroes, and the villains as well can change into other heroes, and it's a zero-sum game. If you are someone who is the Lord of Teleportation and somebody else takes that from you, you will regress into another form. But that's neither here nor there. The Autoplayer is a way for me to set up New York City with 10 sinister cabals, and then run the players as they try to eliminate each cabal individually. Notice I got 10, count them, 10 different cabals in the city. These can be bunched up in one place. That would make that place very dangerous. Or they can be spread out like I spread them out. Now, none of the cabals are actually known. I just randomly put them here, but that doesn't mean that's where they are. And I'm going to set the first category here of 4, where I'm going to say that there is 4 clue points needed for each of these just to determine which borough of New York City they are. And as I expend clue points to find out where these different strongholds are, then I will reduce this values. So let's take, for instance, the Syndicate here. Now, I do not know where this place is, so I'm going to put a question mark there. But I start with the ability to know who is the evil anti-hero that is in charge of the Syndicate in the city. Now, this is not the master of all these different cabals. The masters, who knows where the masters are? All I'm trying to do is do my due diligence here as Red, the wicked Dodger batsman. I've already played him a little bit in the Autoplayer. This one's a lot more embellished. With superheroes, you want to be able to fight crime all over the city, and you want to develop your powers. We're going to have campaign building and character development. We're going to have advanced the plot, and we're going to have this unfinished business. But right now, I need a villain. And I'm going to flip a card for villain transmography. Got that antique gun there. Boy, what an odd thing that is. And I'm going to just stick these right here. And I got an 8 commerce inverted. No, I don't have to worry about the suit. It's just the value, the rank of the card. 8 inverted. The anti-hero is a penultimate 23. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 different traits. Wow. Okay, well, easy come, easy fall. Now, I am going to roll based on a freestyle system of 2 dice for a 10. Is it an intrigue card? It is not. And if I get a 10, I will pick up a friend, the Commissioner Harry Hopkins, as a benevolent NPC, and he is number 21. You can see his name is listed right here on my sheet. And also, what happens if I fail? If I fail, I underestimated the danger, and it's actually the controller of the Void runs the syndicate. Well, that would be terrible. All right, 2 dice for a 10. Do I have a Zaki dice here? I do. And it's a 9. Did I miss that by 1? Okay. Let's make him a 31. That's just horrendously bad. Okay, 31. And let's go to the next guy. And the next guy is going to be, do we know where he is precisely? We do not. We just set him up in Staten Island to begin with, but he may actually move as we expend clue points. And here comes his card flip for what villain and what anti-hero is running him. Now, if it's the same anti-hero, yes, the same, because there's only 31 of these supernatural guys in the city, and if the eugenics have recruited the same one as the syndicate, well, so be it. When you defeat one or the other places and kill that, then the other one will just have to get a new hero as you destroy, for instance, the eugenics stronghold here, and leave the syndicate for the second. He will not simultaneously destroy 2, not in a solo fashion like I'm doing. You would need a referee to mitigate that. But that is a knight card. And all we're looking at is the card itself, not the suit. The anti-healer in this case is only 3, a guy that's only invisibility. Wow, that would be great to just keep him a guy that just is invisible. Success and gain a clue point, but fail and you've underestimated the danger, and he goes to Pan Ultimate 19 and picks up 1, 2, 3 different traits. Right now he just has the 2 traits of duplicity and protean, and he would add another one of duplicity, protean, and potent if I fail this roll. But it's only a 7 on 2 dice. Did I make that first roll? I didn't, so I didn't pick up my buddy either. Cosmic Flame Fist. Let me look at my character. I may have a Cosmic Flame Fist. I tend not to be the Human Torch. Let's look. Flame Fist. Nope, no Flame Fist. Just checking to find out if I had the advantage of Cosmic Flame Fist. And these are the superpowers in the game that are associated with your Pan Ultra state. And the Pan Ultra state is created by the combination of traits that your character has. My Dodger Batsman. And I'm going to roll 2 dice for a 7. Much editing will follow. 11, I made it. Now in this case, I do not pick up Cosmic Attack Flame Fist. I can pick up Swaggering, and I can pick up NPCs, but I would have to have this as a de facto skill in order to... I don't pick it up by making the roll. It just gives me a 3-die advantage if I have it. But I did make the roll, so this really is just a guy that works invisibility. Should we go over to Consortium here? I'm going to stop the tape here and edit it together. Alright, I believe I'm done here in that I have used my villain's transmography, and if you're playing with a group, which I frequently do, you would have each of the players go around the table and try to make these rolls to keep the enemies from being greater than what they are. Had a couple of double Banes in here. For instance, the old guard has a guy with only 2 traits, as the supervillain in charge of their stronghold, but he has a Gronk thug with him, which makes him harder to defeat by the tables of Big Bad Boss. Here's a double 28, so let me give you an example of that. So the Consortium is run by this villain that's a 28. And the aliens have recruited the same 28. Now I can go into my booklet here. It's okay. Now a 28, that is a medium. I even got a little picture here. We can go down to 28. This guy here, this medium, he's convinced 2 different cabals that he should be the guy in charge. He is double dipping, my friends. Now if I kill him by raiding the alien stronghold here and defeating him with Big Bad Boss, the place where he's elsewhere in the Consortium, that would turn to a question mark, and I would need another clue point to then go back to the villain table to determine who's there. Now I picked up a total of 2 clue points from generating the 10 different enemies. And I also picked up the crime lab for the lair from these rolls. I have the Calvinist Galvard Goddard. I have the gang leader Dutch Schultz. My father actually met him, which shows my age. And I have the architect Frederick Clark Withers. And those 3 guys will help me out. Now, important NPCs are not swaggering. When you use them and imply their influence, either to make a roll or to fix something in the game, then, like remove a contingency, then these would be gone. But you can reacquire them again. They'll be in and out with their friendship. Now, the 2 clue points, what I would do with that is, for instance, I could take the Syndicate Stronghold, and it takes me 4 clue points to pinpoint where it is exactly. All right? So, and turn this question mark to an X. And I only have 2. Now, I could spend them now, or I could hold on to them, because clue points can be valuable for other uses besides just generating the different hazards in the game. I have 10 strongholds. There may be created, in fact, there's a high likelihood that other strongholds would be created. Now, the other thing that's in the game are what's known as diabolical desires, and those are generated for different cabals in the city. And when you flip a card for a diabolical desire, then you have more of a focused play. You may have seen this in the Year 10 Autoplayer. So we're going to start the game by flipping a card on unfinished business. And here's my card for unfinished business, and it is a maiden. Then I go to my table, unfinished business, and I look up what a Double Bane, if they have it. Double Bane Maiden. It looks like unfinished business. There are no Bane cards, but you look at the suit card and you look at the rank. So Maiden Artifice, that's going to take me all the way down to the bottom here in the Artifice section and read the Maiden. Codename Bellows. An enforcer is pressuring you to leave your lair. He has claimed the domain is his. He's willing to settle the dispute privately in a gladiatorial fashion. Marquis of Queensberry rules. End interdiction to your base. Well, isn't it always the case? I'm trying to demonstrate the basic mechanics here, and we get a fluke. So I'm going to mark this as unknown, and I'm going to change it to lair. And I'm just using what's in front of me. If you have a different virtual tabletop, I'm sure you're going to adapt to the rules. If you decided to play this on an actual tabletop, you can use pawns and markers. You can draw out a rough section of the city. You can do it in schematic form and just put big boxes of Bronx and Manhattan. But I'm not going to tell you how to actually run the game. All I'm trying to do is give you mechanics to hopefully shortcut. Mostly shortcut your imagination. We all have very limited time, and most of the things that I'm creating will just allow the referee to pick up and play it solo, or be able to take his own ideas and enhance them. Again, this guy wants to fight me, and it is complexity 11, and we're going to cut all that out because that's all useful to have. And we're going to open this up, and we're going to use the tooltip. Actually, we're going to do this. We're going to go layer here and tooltip here because we want to know what the critical key is on 11, and the diagnostics, the knack is 8, 11, 8. Save settings. 11. So it's an 11 complexity, and it's an 8 diagnostics. Now I can roll. And let's put this in the lair. Now, while this is interdicting my lair, while there's that pinhead there claiming it's his lair, not ours, squatter, I can try to roll an 11 and throw him out of the city, and that would remove this obstacle. Or I can try to roll an 8, and that 8 will allow me to drop the complexity by a half d8. And in this system, you cannot bring that down below 7. So you cannot just continually roll this. Now, what are the knack? And what are the critical key? The critical key is the transmography trait of potent. So I can look at my character here, and I can look at the transmography traits that I have, and I am potent. I do not have duplicity. I have protean, acuity, and potent. A little bit of play going on here. Normally you start with only 2 of the transmography traits, and these will come and go in the game as I either by somebody else becoming the same guy as you, which is something I probably should check right now. Are there any other 26s in the city? Because if there are, scream bloody murder. I'm not there. They're there. I'll look. I'm looking. I don't want to see 26s. Be bad for me. I would lose a transmography trait. Because there's only 31 heroes in Hero 31, sort of implied by the name. Okay, no. So I am the Dodger Batsman. I have my powers, unique, and those are the fact that I'm a state 26. Let's go back down into here. It's always fun for me to look at the drawings, and we are a visual animal. Pan-ultimate states. Now 26 means that I have teleportation. So if I pan down a little bit, look at the funky thing that's a 26 teleportation. This is what I look like. I could actually take that graphic, and add it into the game. And I have the ability of potent. So I could roll 3 dice looking for an 11 to throw this guy out of the city. But before I do that, the knack is Two-Fisted Fury, and that's a persona. Do I have persona J? Persona of J. Persona is a type of swaggering. Persona swaggering of J. I don't have persona swaggering of J. Two-Fisted Fury. If I roll my dice, note in the hero game, none of these swaggering lock is glorious. If I roll in my action as 2 dice for an 8, I would pick up that Two-Fisted Fury as part of my persona. It sounds like the best thing for me to do. So after I have established the 10 cartels, this is the very start of the campaign, after I've established the 10 cartels, and then I go in with my Wicked Dodger Batsman, and the first event of unfinished business was there's a guy in my lair, and I'm going to get rid of him. So I'm going to roll 2 dice for an 8. Do I want to apply any traits? Maybe add the fury bonus? Nah, 2 dice for an 8. I should be able to make that. A 12, and I did. So by successfully rolling that 8, 2 things happen. First of all, I pick up the persona of Two-Fisted Fury. So I can go back in my character here and I can look. And again, when I talk about autoplayer, it's auto-referee. So I am running my character and developing my character as I actually play the game. So we go to Persona Swaggering and Two-Fisted Fury 10. Let's check that. And the other thing is I roll a half d8. Let's get a single d8 here and have it. And that would be a roll of a 4. Divided by 2 is 2. I can do simple math. This now become a 9. Now I could have rolled 3 dice with my potent to either totally eliminate this obstacle with an 11 or reduce the obstacle's complexity with an 8. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to try to pick up the swaggering, and that's why I rolled the 2 dice for the 8. And now I can look at the next turn. I've successful with my roll, so I don't have a negative outcome. The 2 negative outcomes are, I'm looking, chaos ensues. Chaos ensues happens when a complexity attempt is failed, and expensive detours, that happens when you attempt to attempt a diagnostic roll and fail. But I didn't fail my roll here. Now I can take a second roll in the game. Do I want to try to roll 2 dice for an 8 to kick this guy out and reduce this a 9 down to a possible low of 7? Well, there's no benefit. Persona Two-Fisted Fury, I can roll 3 dice to get an 8, and it's almost an automatic to bring this to a 7. Or I can use my transmography trait of Potent, which I have, and roll 3 dice for a 9. I'm just going to try 3 dice for a 9. Because I'm that sort of... The Dodger Batsman would not delay. And I've eliminated this problem. Now, I have eliminated all the problems in the city. Do I immediately go back and add more? Well, you can, but in this case, I don't. What I do instead is I go to another Q&D of Conundrum and Canard. Now, why do I do that? Normally, if there are no diabolical desires of a cabal in the city, I could attack. For instance, I could raid the stronghold of the anarchists here, but it would take me 4 clue points to figure out where they are, and I don't have those 4 clue points. So I don't know that the anarchists are here, or here, or here, where their stronghold is. So I'm also looking over the city, and it looks relatively peaceful to me. Everything is hunky-dory, but I know there's 10 sinister cabals out there. So that's a conundrum. So I'm going to flip a card and see what happens with that. And here goes my flip of card on Conundrum, because all of my actions, and it is a 9. Oh, it's a Valor. Conundrum, Valor. Forgo sleep, double your patrol routes, collect a clue point, and continue on Q&D Eyewitness. All right, we love those clue points. I could be spending them right now, or I can use them to different advantages in the game. For instance, I could spend a clue point, and we go into clue points. Tally of clue points. What can I do with these clue points? Let's see. They can be exchanged for lair swaggering. They can be used to get the best made plans, which is an advantage event before you have combat, or it gains the knowledge of a cartel that you're facing. And in this case, I could use 3 of these and almost totally pinpoint where this syndicate stronghold is. But I got that Valor, collect a clue point, and go to Q&D Eyewitness. So I open up the Q&D Eyewitness tables, and I'm going to flip a card here. And again, it's only going to be suit that I'm worried about. Sometimes it's suit and rank, sometimes it's just rank, sometimes it's the orientation of the card. That knight, I don't worry about the knight, but it's a fidelity card. The fidelity card is going to be your costume in tatters, your mask slips as your air of distinction evaporates. You are revealed for the man you are and not the hero you long to be. A public relations disaster. Too late, perhaps, for rash response. Your disguise is busted. Pop goes the flash bowls. Collect a clue point. Well, that's a good thing. By collecting that clue point, I could now pinpoint any cabal in the city. And continue with event 172 of Life Goes On. You'll take one roll of the expansive life path for each of your turns to follow. That will hold you out of any other campaign plot action. When you finish your run on that table, event 460, return to regular rotation and advance the plot. I'll be back in the advance the plot after I do that. And what is going to happen with advance the plot? I would probably go right back to Conundrum, or I could spend my 4 clue points, pinpoint, say, the consortium, and kill this guy there. Try to, at least. But I'm going to probably skip showing you the Life Goes On table, because I was exposed, and when I was exposed, I had to play the role of a matinee idol and pretend that it was all part of a serial, a film short, and I walked out of that as the Surf Batsman, new name. I changed to background of lawyer and gained a foul focus of criminality. I also became a loyalist of the Consortium, -2 if I attack them, and I became the Sable Batsman, and now I wear a fur collar as part of my persona. And I spent my 4 of my 5 clue points that I gathered, and I have locked the anarchists. I locked them in Manhattan, and I will go ahead and attack them using Big Bad. Let's see, Q and D, defeat the Big Bad Boss. Now this is a 2-step process where I first would have to make the rival vulnerable and then get a result that would outright slay him. Now this guy does not have any sort of Gronk sidekick, but by eliminating this anarchist stronghold, it'll be the last one in the city, and then the anarchists are gone. Now that does not mean that the game is over. It means just that now anything that's related to the anarchists, you would take an alternate version instead. And there's the alternates. The alternates would be, so once I get rid of the anarchists, there will be, instead of anarchists, there'll be ancients in the world. So, but I'm going to use this battle. I'm going to fight that. After I do this, if I die, I'll let you know. You don't need to see any of this. Do you need to see any of this? I'll flip a few cards just to show you how you would do this, defeating the stronghold. If the players, if I was playing with a group, all the players would assemble to defeat this one big bad boss. We would all take our own flips on this table. And here comes my first flip, and it would be a 10, a 10. Fidelity, I'm not worried about the suit in this table. I'm just looking at the rank of the cards. And a 10 straight up, it's not inverted. Collect your second win in the sale. Success and gain the Fury Pip, that'd be nice. Regardless, all characters suffer a vicious wound. If the players face Pan Ultra 30. Now, we face here, what did I say? 19. Put a face to the villain. I will put a face to you, villain. So it's going to be a spectral form. Ooh, I'm fighting a ghost. I don't want to fight a ghost. I have superpowers. Of course, I'm going to fight this ghost. Me, as I'm still, I think I'm 28 still. I'm the teleportation guy. The teleportation man versus the ghost. And I got that 10. Now, it's a difficulty of 11, any swagger J. I look at my character here, and I look and see if I have a J. I do believe I picked up a J. I think I picked up a Tommy gun. And, oh, it's an F. A J. Two-Fisted Fury. Hey, you even saw me do that. I picked up Two-Fisted Fury. So any swagger J. Now, I could roll that 11 and try to pick up a lair J or the sidekick J. But in this case, no, I'm just going to roll 3 dice and gain the Fury Pip here. Roll 3 dice for the Fury Pip. 18. 3d8, 666, and 666 in a game that has the ancients and aliens and everything else. Ooh, we just stepped into Lovecraft land. And with that roll, I now have +2 for the Fury. And I will flip another card. Here comes my fart card flip. I'm still on that big bad boss battle. And I got myself a martyr card. I look at the martyr, and the martyr tells me, go brash to gamingly attempt an irregular attack. Oh, that's a throwback to Cutlass. Success, and sub-commander is slain. He does not suffer the result until he is vulnerable. He's not vulnerable. If he is not already vulnerable, fail, and the next half D8 events are banes. Regardless, all characters suffer a vicious wound if I face 18. I don't face 18. I've got 19 True Flight. And Trait Protean, I think we looked that up before. I am Trait Protean. I'm rolling 3 dice for an 11, +2 for the Fury. I think that's pretty much, I don't need a make roll for that. Let's see, 3 dice, 14. All right, so I did not make him vulnerable. I did not have Bane events here. You just keep flipping cards. You would go around the table. The next player after me, usually my brother Rusty, he would take a card, 3 Bane. He loves the Banes. But I have to take that Bane since I'm playing solo. Attack from behind and claim the honor of the kill. Fail and reset all positive pits of the party. No one has Tactics Fury. I want to keep my tactics here. Regardless, all characters suffer a vicious wound if they face Persona 21. We do not an imposter. Flare here on out. Should the character have foul focus criminality, and I do, I picked that up, he may never make the rival vulnerable. Given that event, he instead would roll to avoid a wound. Now, because this event came up, an interesting little twist, I would have to abandon the battle because I started to attack this thing, but he's using my own criminality against me. Oh, foiled again. And I got a Q&D escape, Q&D evasion. I need to run away from this guy, flipping a card. Leave, a dumb Dora holding the bag. Fail, and the next half D8 cards are Banes. If you do not yet know the Cabal you will face in this climax, difficulty increases by 3. Actually, we do. We know we were facing the anarchists. But they drove us away, those putzes. I am not duplicity. It is a 10 on 2 dice, or I get a half D8 Banes. A 10 on 2 dice? Well, I'm going to use a make roll here. I have 3. And I have 3 make rolls. I'm going to use 2 here. I do not want to be tossed from the battle. I can use these make rolls at any time. And the make rolls were reset to a half D8, and that went down from a D8 in the regular Hero 31 game to a half D8 when you're playing the autoplay. And I can reset those, and I'll reset my my strategic bonuses as well. And we go to, so I made the 10, and then I'm still trying to evade, and I got myself a 3. A 4 followed by a 3. Blend and make casual conversation with a couple of twerps. Fit right in. 2 Killjoy to be a hero. Success and everyone may escape or stay with the Fury Pip. A Lair Academia on an 8. 2 with my Fury Pip. A 6 I get away. A 14? A 7. A 7 is good enough. A 7 gets me out of the battle. I made an attempt by spending 4 clue points to lock that anarchist. At least I know where it is. I can always come back another day and try to attack it. But I have been defeated by this guy, and that certainly is a setback. I can go into my character here, and I can look. I think I might have already even checked setback. You need 9 ignobles to go up a level. Go back into queue. Life goes on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already got a setback. That was pulsing action. That was risk taking. Let's call it pulsing action. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you may know, if you know freestyle, 9 ignobles will send me up a level. There's a lot of choices here in this game. You don't have to get all 20. You just have to get 9 of the 20 to essentially advance. And that would be the way that is played. More later.